Now we move to the ads phase. 4 birds will spawn on 4 cardinals. These birds have an enraged timer of 15 to 20 seconds, so we have to kill them before that. So what we do is we pair up each melee with a healer and each tank with a ranged DPS. The tank pairs pick up the ads on north and south cardinals, and the melees pick up the ads on east and west. Because the healers are looking after the melee, they'll be safe. Here you can see the 4 groups picked up their ads pretty easily, and we're able to kill them fairly quick. Now after you kill the ads, there will be a raid white, so heal up. And then the ads will respawn in bigger versions. When they respawn in bigger versions, they deal more damage. So you can't let melee keep aggro on the east and west ads anymore. So in this phase, each tank needs to grab aggro from 2 ads. We had our main tank take aggro from the north and east ad, and our off tank take aggro from the south and west ad. Next up, 4 random players will get tethers from 4 birds. These tethered players will also get tethered to one of the other players that did not receive any tether from the birds. For example, I got tethered to the east bird over here. And I also got tethered to our samurai, Vitania. Vitania is only tethered to me, and he's not tethered to any birds. So this way, 4 people will be tethered to a bird and a player, and 4 people will be tethered to only another player. Now let's move to how to resolve this mechanic. You'll notice the tethers we receive are pink at first. How these tethers work is, when you travel a decent distance from the source you're tethered to, they become purple. Because I was tethered to the east ad, when I traveled towards the west side, they became purple. That's the first thing everyone needs to do. They need to make their tethers purple. Doing that is very easy. If you're tethered to a bird, then you travel to the opposite side of the bird. For instance, if you're tethered to the north ad, then you move to somewhere around the south area. Now the person that's tethered to you also needs to make their tether purple. And to do that, they simply need to move opposite of you, which is normally beside the bird you're tethered to. Now that we've discussed how to do the tethers, let's move on to the next thing. All the birds will start casting Fire Glide Sweep. At the end of this cast, they will dash twice. The first dash will be to the player the bird is tethered to. When the bird dashes to you, it will cleave you, and you can only survive one of these cleaves. The bird will dash again to the player you are tethered to, and when it dashes again, it will cleave you again if you're still in the same spot. So you need to move a bit to the side to be safe, and then the bird will dash to the other player you were tethered to. With all players doing their tethers, it looks something like this. Now let's see how doing tethers in-game actually looks. So I make my tether purple, move away when the bird dashes to me, and I'm safe. Lastly, we have to kill these birds. Now you can't kill these birds close to each other, because if they're close to each other when they die, they will give the boss a damage up buff and that will wipe the party. So the tanks need to make sure that the birds are dying far from each other. Our party killed the birds on north, south, east and west, while tanks moved them around. Here I have aggro on 2 birds and I pull them north, and then when one of them dies north, I took the other one east and killed it there. My off tank did something similar with the south and west birds. And when you finally kill them, you've done the ads phase. The ads phase does end with a big raid wide, so be careful.